The psychology of people who hide their pain with humor. Some people make everyone laugh because silence would reveal too much. They're the ones who turn heavy moments into jokes. They're the ones who make a sarcastic comment right when the conversation becomes emotional. They're the ones who smile while talking about something that should have hurt them. They say, "It's fine," but they say it in a funny way. They say, "That's just my life," and everyone laughs. But sometimes the laugh is not the truth. Sometimes the laugh is the cover. Because for some people, humor is not just a personality trait. It is armor. It is how they protect themselves from being seen too clearly. It is how they speak about pain without fully touching it. It is how they tell the truth without giving anyone enough time to ask, "Wait, did that actually hurt you?" And maybe it did. Maybe it hurt more than they are willing to admit. People who hide their pain with humor are often not trying to be fake. They're not pretending because they want attention. They're not always trying to entertain everyone. Sometimes they're trying to survive the discomfort of vulnerability, because being serious about their pain feels dangerous. Being honest feels too exposed. Letting the room become quiet after they say something painful feels unbearable. So they make it funny. They talk about being abandoned like it was a comedy scene. They talk about being disappointed like it was just bad luck. They talk about their childhood with a joke at the end, so nobody has to sit with how sad it really was. And people laugh, not because they do not care, but because the joke tells them it is safe to laugh. So the pain disappears behind the performance. But the person who made the joke still knows. They know what was hidden inside it. They know which part was funny and which part was actually a wound. Many people who use humor this way learned it early. Maybe when they were children, their emotions were too much for the people around them. Maybe when they cried, someone told them to stop being dramatic. Maybe when they were hurt, someone changed the subject. Maybe when they tried to explain their feelings, they were mocked, ignored, or made to feel weak. So they learned a lesson they were never supposed to learn. They learned that pain is only acceptable when it is entertaining. They learned that sadness is safer when it is wrapped in a joke. They learned that if they make people laugh, people will not reject them for hurting. And slowly, humor became a shield, a way to stay close to people without needing too much, a way to reveal something real without risking the full truth, a way to say, "I'm not okay," while still making it sound like, "Do not worry about me." But inside, there may be a quiet exhaustion. Because always being funny can become another kind of pressure. People start expecting them to be the light one, the strong one, the funny one, the one who can turn every painful thing into a clever sentence. So when they're actually hurting, they may feel trapped by the role they created. They may think, "If I stop joking, people will not know what to do with me. If I become serious, I will make everyone uncomfortable. If I show how much it hurt, they might see me differently." So they keep performing. They make jokes in group chats. They laugh at their own sadness. They become the person who says the uncomfortable thing in a funny way, so nobody has to feel the weight of it. But the nervous system still feels the weight. The body still remembers what the mouth turned into a joke. The heart still holds what the room never acknowledged. The mind still knows when laughter became a hiding place. And this is where emotional avoidance begins. Because humor can be healing. Humor can help people breathe again. Humor can create connection. Humor can make pain feel less lonely. But when humor becomes the only way someone can talk about pain, it can also become a wall. They may joke before they cry. They may laugh before they ask for help. They may turn every serious conversation into a performance because stillness feels too intimate. They may not know how to say, "That hurt me. I felt rejected. I needed someone. I'm not okay. I'm tired of pretending this does not affect me." Not because they do not feel deeply, but because feeling deeply in front of someone else may feel unsafe. So they keep the room light while carrying something heavy inside. And sometimes people misunderstand them. They assume the funny person is fine. They assume the one making jokes is not sensitive. They assume that if someone can laugh about it, it must not be serious. But some of the funniest people are carrying sadness very carefully. They have simply learned how to make sadness socially acceptable. They learned how to make pain easier for other people to digest. They learned how to be wounded without becoming a burden. They learned how to ask for care without actually asking. And maybe that is why their humor can feel so sharp, so quick, so observant, so strangely honest. Because underneath the joke, there is often a truth they are afraid to say directly. A joke can become a small door, a tiny opening, a way of testing whether someone is safe. If people laugh and move on, they close the door again. But if someone pauses and says, "Wait, are you actually okay?" something inside them may soften. Because sometimes the funny person is not asking everyone to analyze them. They are just hoping one person notices the pain behind the punchline. Healing for these people does not mean losing their humor. They do not have to become serious all the time. They do not have to stop being funny. They do not have to erase the part of them that brings light into dark places. But healing may mean learning that humor does not have to be their only language. They can still laugh, and they can also be honest. They can still make jokes, and they can also say, "Actually, that really hurt me." They can still be the person who brings warmth into the room, but they no longer have to turn every wound into entertainment. Because pain does not need to be funny to deserve care. Your sadness does not need a clever line before someone takes it seriously. Your exhaustion does not need to be hidden behind sarcasm. Your story does not need to be easy for everyone else to hear before it becomes valid. Maybe you learned to laugh because crying was not safe. Maybe you became funny because being honest felt too risky. Maybe you made people comfortable because nobody taught you that your discomfort mattered too. But you are allowed to be more than the person who makes everyone laugh. You are allowed to be quiet. You are allowed to be serious. You are allowed to say something painful and not rescue the room afterward. You're allowed to let someone sit with the truth. And maybe the safest people will not need you to turn your pain into a joke. They will not rush you. They will not mock you. They will not make you feel dramatic for having emotions. They will hear the silence after your honesty and stay. Because real connection does not begin when you become entertaining. It begins when you become real. And maybe the part of you that always jokes is not broken. Maybe it was trying to protect you. Maybe it was trying to keep you accepted. Maybe it was trying to make sure your pain did not scare people away. So do not hate that part of yourself. Thank it for protecting you. But gently remind it, you do not have to hide everything anymore. Some people make everyone laugh because silence would reveal too much. But one day, with the right people, silence may not feel dangerous. It may feel safe. And in that silence, you may finally realize you do not have to be funny to be loved. You do not have to perform to be accepted. You do not have to make your pain easier for others to deserve tenderness. You can laugh. You can hurt. You can be human and still be worthy of care.